not Nigerians, and we are managing that. Now, we have also procured windshield alert systems. Before 2011 July, we had only only one windshield alert system in Abuja. Today, we have increased it to 8 airports covered with windshield alert system. As I speak to you now, we are working to put it in 1 or 2 more airports. And I can tell you the airports: Enugu, Kano, Port Harcourt, Lagos, Yola Airport, Sokoto Airport, Owerri Airport. All these in addition to the one we had in Abuja. Now, for the upper air monitoring, because look, these aircraft operate in the atmosphere. I mean, that is where my agency and NAMA, that's where we work very closely together. The atmosphere extends several kilometers. I mean, when you are up there, the pilot tells you we are cruising at 30,000 feet above mean sea level. What is the weather condition there? We have to know. And that is where the upper air monitoring technique comes in. Prior to now, we had only one upper air station here in Abuja. Today, we have 8 of them. And we keep moving on and on. Thunderstorm detectors. Thunderstorm is a major weather hazard in Nigeria. Prior to now, we had only a few, but today we have thunderstorm detectors at up to 20 locations in this country. So we are able to monitor real time what is happening. Now, this is the dust haze period. How do we know that there will be dust episodes? We have satellite receiving equipment, satellite image receivers that hook onto specific meteorological satellites. To be specific, we use the Meteosat. That's the satellite, the Meteor satellite of European Union. We have subscribed to, but you have to have the ground receiving equipment. Now, with this equipment, we can tell 48 hours ahead of time, because the dust affecting us in Nigeria doesn't come from Nigeria. It comes from Chad and Niger.
So more from the Sahara region.
That's right, from the Sahara region. So we monitor anytime there is the episode when the meteorological conditions are favorable. There will be uptake of dust. Then we monitor the wind direction, so we can tell you with precision the trajectory of the dust plume. We can tell you when it will get to Maiduguri, when it will get to Kano, when it will get to Abuja, when it will get to Owerri or Port Harcourt. These are the facilities we have, and these are all part of what we are implementing to ensure safety.
So remember, how much is this equipment costing us as a nation? How much is it costing?
Oh, huge. They run into, I mean, we cannot give you, but they run into billions of naira. This is the kind of investment this government has put in to ensure safety. Safety, for goodness sake, is not cheap. We must bear that in mind. Safety is not cheap. If we, and indeed, disaster is even more expensive. So it is better we invest the way we are doing now. And I'd like to emphasize something. When the minister was speaking, she talked about the terminal buildings and so on, and she told you that these are the front end. There is the back end. Well, call it cosmetic if you may.
The aesthetics.
The aesthetics, more of aesthetics than it is aesthetics. And by the way, we have to take care of the aesthetics. We have to do something that is befitting of this country. We all travel out. Heathrow Terminal 5. I mean, what's wrong with our having something of that standard here? So we have to take care of all that, because our visitors are coming from where these facilities are world class. They are coming to do business. There's a saying in my language that if you wear rags, your talk will also be like rags. When you didn't kill a cafe,
that's right.
That's what it is. So we don't have to wear tatters to do business with people who are coming from where they wear suits. I mean, we have to do something befitting. But over and above that, like the Honorable Minister said, we have also done probably a lot more in the back end. And that back end is what my colleague in Nama does. You can't see the airspace. He has to manage it. He needs equipment to keep track of all the aircraft, to make sure that they are well coordinated. You cannot see, the cloud, or the dynamics in the clouds, but you have to monitor them to make sure that these pilots have accurate weather information. And I cannot stop saying it, that our services in the air traffic control and surveillance is world class. We have indices to measure. Our meteorological services are world class. We have indices to measure. It's not about speculation.
Okay.
Our services are ISO 9001 certified.
Okay. Mazi, what is the areas of collaboration between NIMET and NAMA?
Well, like I've publicly said, we look forward to people like you coming to become private pilot license holders. Before you get a startup, you must have the temperature. Before you take off to your destination, you must have destination weather. And that's where NIMET comes in. But we are the housing for that product. But right now, we no longer wait for NIMET to bring the paper. We receive it from the sensors around the airport. All the facilities he's talking about, we receive them. And for what we call Terminal Weather Information System, the ARTIS, the pilot tunes a frequency where he receives a voice on a continuous basis of current weather information. That means that he's not waiting for someone to come and press a button, then you read it like a paper like it used to be in the past. So that's great collaboration. And of course, when you enter the Flight Information Service Center, where flight plans are filed, you see meteorological officers there waiting to brief any pilot who is filing his flight plan. As he collects his folder, he might ask questions. What was his wind speed like 3 hours ago? That would enable him see the trend. And now this trend, rain overhead Port Harcourt, what was the wind when the rain was coming? Like he said, these are very scientific things that are interpreted for the comfort of passengers. So there's a huge handshake. And even in the TRACON facilities, the radar, we also have weather component at the TRACON, which we call clusters. When the pilot is approaching a particular height and location, the controller already knows the coordinate. That's why sometimes you notice a gradual left turn or right turn to avert a weather condition. I'm sure in a very long time you haven't flown in this country with serious turbulent weathers. It's because the man sees the weather ahead of him, and that's what we call vectoring around it. I'm sure you remember vectors here secondary school, modern mathematics. And those things are used in air traffic management. That's why controllers are mathematical and physical science graduates, etc. So we use all that to make flying safer and, of course, comfortable for the passengers.
Okay, finally,
permit me a few seconds.
Yes.
You see, the way we are discussing, part of the huge transformation that we have achieved in aviation is even the relationship between agencies. Because we cannot, prior to now, it's like everybody was in his own silo, but we have broken down those silo walls. There is so much he can stand here and discuss what is happening in NIMET for 2 hours. I can stand up for the next 1 hour and tell you almost on a daily basis what is happening in his agency or what is happening in FAN. This is the new management system within the aviation ministry and aviation parastatals that this transformation has brought to us. There is now greater seamlessness in interaction, and this is what has given rise to greater level of efficiency, and that is what we need to be what we are, to get to where we want to be.
Okay,
high level of efficiency.
All right, as we close now, one word, what is the kind of revenue you're generating with NIMET? In one word.
The infrastructure we have put in place must be sustained.